Hey everybody, it's me, Greg Manarino. How are you today? Again, this is my post-market wrap-up for today, Wednesday, December 20th, 2017. People, the story of the day, which got virtually zero coverage on the mainstream financial channels, was this bond market issue. Now, as I said earlier in the video that I did this morning, prior to the market open, stock futures were up very nicely. The commentators were all smiley and they were having their little, euphoric fits, like kind of like that. Look, the cheerleaders, good for them. But again, they can't allow you to understand what's happening behind the scenes. As you know, if you follow this work, the stock market indices, what they do doesn't matter to me at all. I don't care. I'm going to know what's going to happen, and so are you, in the stock market by just looking at what the bond market is going to do. Now, that's what they did today, and it's revolting and it's kind of nauseating to me to sit there. The story that they were trying to sell you prior to the market open today was this tax plan is going to push money into the stock market, bank stocks are going to take off, our economy is going to go off like gangbusters, and they were expecting the stock market to hit another record today. But what they were not allowing you to understand, while they were saying that this morning, was the bond market was yet under pressure. Stocks opened up higher. The Dow Jones Industrial Average with almost a triple-digit gain, which quickly reversed. All three major indices finished to the negative today, and they just sit there and they can't figure out why. Oh, wait a minute. How come? Why? Of course they know. I'm just, they're in the delusional state where they're trying to convince you that they really don't understand why. Why the stock market didn't end higher today? Because they can't show you what's going on in the bond market, which is in the largest bubble the world has ever seen by exponents. I don't care what bubbles you want to look at, magnify that 10, 20, 30, 100-fold. That's where you are with regard to the debt market. It can't even be measured because who knows the amount of derivatives that are layered on top of this. You understand what I'm saying? There's not just one derivative. There are multiple layers of derivatives on top of it. So no one knows how big this bubble actually is. We just already know it's the largest the world has ever seen. So today, if you are watching that chart on my website, which I have set up for you, you can look at it anytime you want. And I would say look at it right now. You will see a massive slide with regard to the bond market. But there were several attempts. There was one yesterday, just before the market closed, where they tried to prop it up, didn't work. Bonds sold off today. They tried midday today, again, to prop up that bond market, to lift stocks. It did not work. It was a failed attempt, as a matter of fact. I took a snapshot of that, and I placed it on all of my social networks. But you don't even have to go look at that. Just go look at the chart, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. You're going to see a red slide, that was yesterday, a green bump, that was the attempt yesterday, the first attempt to prop it up at the market close yesterday. Then we sold off, and then you see a green little attempt there again to try to prop that up. Didn't work. So the bond market is in a lot of trouble here. A lot of people have written to me today on my social networks and even sent me a few emails. Greg, when is this going to end? Is the stock market going to stabilize? You're asking the wrong question. The question should be, when is the bond market going to stabilize? Stocks will not move higher here until the bond market stabilizes. This has taken me by surprise, there's no doubt about it, and I'm sure most of you, because it's been the same scenario for weeks upon weeks upon weeks upon weeks. Bond market sells off, they get in there, they buy them up, props it up, lifts stocks. It's not working. They've made several attempts at this. It's not working. Now, the bond market, as we understand, is the largest market of them all, and every single asset prices off of what's going on here in the bond market. Someone actually brought up a really good point today on my Facebook page. I cannot remember his or her name, but this is an interesting concept. I want you to think about it. So we understand what's happening here to Bitcoin. I'm going to refer to Bitcoin real quick. It's sold off 20% or so from its high. You really should not be surprised about this. The price of Bitcoin has been following the futures market exactly like I said. Not 99% of what I said, but 100%. And for those of you that follow this blog, you know all the heat I have taken from the fanatics who just don't understand that. However, if they would have listened to me and played it like I said, they would be a lot better off today. But this is what the comment was that someone wrote on my Facebook page. They said, Greg, is the bond market itself affecting what's happening to the price of Bitcoin? Now, the interesting take on that is it may in some way be related to that, because it's all about risk. It's about risk. So although people seem to believe that Bitcoin is disconnected from the market and will do whatever it wants to do on its own good time, and it's just not true, despite they're seeing the evidence of that in their face, that may, and I haven't made up my mind completely on this, but it kind of makes sense to a degree if you think about it without too much input, because I really haven't really gotten into it, but it could have something to do with that. However, just watch the front month futures with regard to Bitcoin, and you will see Bitcoin price has been following along with that. We also found out that a couple of big players here in the crypto realm have dumped their shares of Bitcoin, even Litecoin, which I found a little bit interesting. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about this. It's very important. Generally, when you see the big boys get out of something, that means there's a problem. The same thing happens across any asset class that we've ever seen in history. When the big boys start selling, you know there's a problem, and the schmucks always get left behind for a myriad of reasons. So keep that in mind here. And if you want to know, seriously, where Bitcoin is going to go, watch the front month futures. It's been following it to the letter, or to the number. Anyway, interesting. Keep your eye on that. As I have been saying, people, before we found out that all these big players are dumping Bitcoin and Litecoin, I said start to look at up-and-comers. Look at up-and-comers here. These are not the only games in town. They're getting all the attention, but they're not the only games in town. So you need to, in this guy's opinion, and I've been pretty spot on with this, look for up-and-comers. Okay. People, gold and silver went higher today. You know how I despise talking about this. There's going to be a moment where they cannot rig this anymore. Gold and silver derivatives are the biggest rigged game on the planet. On the planet. And they've been played and rigged and twisted by Wall Street for a long time. It's a machine. Wall Street is a machine with tentacles wrapping around the entire globe. You want to know who runs the world? It's not the President of the United States or some king or some queen or whoever it might be. You stand right in front of the New York Stock Exchange. There you go. That's it. Boom. Wall Street. And Wall Street doesn't have to even be on Wall Street. Understand, where the futures are traded over in Illinois or wherever, I don't care where they're traded. It could be traded on Planet X. Doesn't matter. It's all connected to Wall Street. And Wall Street is a rigged game. It's a rigged game. And I wish so badly that they didn't get their hand on Bitcoin here. Now they're starting to talk about ETFs, inverse ETFs, and all kinds of stuff. People, I might be wrong on this. And I know I'm going to take some heat for what I'm about to tell you. But I wouldn't touch Bitcoin here with my neighbor's grandson's granddaughter's dog, smelling it. I just wouldn't do it at this point here. It is being gamed by Wall Street, and it is disgusting to watch this happen. This actually might be a boon to other cryptocurrencies, because the cash that I've been saying this. Bitcoin is 20% off of its high since the futures started, and it may benefit other altcoins. You got it? So just do your own homework. Pay attention to these things. All right, look, I know this is getting kind of long-winded. I can't stress this enough. Watch that bond market. Stocks will go nowhere until we get some stabilization here in the bond market. I haven't bought anything. If I did buy something, I would have tweeted it or posted to one of my social networks. I'm sitting back watching this bond market, just like you should be doing. Just because you don't have to have cash in this market 24/7 around the clock. Be smart. Sit back and wait. Plan your strategy, and then at the right time, not before, you execute it. And when you execute that strategy, you already have an exit plan in your head. You understand? You never enter a position with thinking about how you're going to get out. You understand? One more thing before I let you go. If you would go to my Facebook page right now, Twitter or Google+, I posted a picture of 3 dogs that are up for adoption at the local shelter here in Las Vegas. If you live in Las Vegas and you adopt one of those 3 dogs, go look at them. If you're interested in getting a four-legged friend, I will personally pay your adoption fees. You want to adopt all 3? I'll pay all 3. I don't care. It's another way of me paying it forward, people. And it's just the most important thing. If you're going to do anything this season of the year, no matter what religion you might practice, and if you don't practice one at all, don't matter to me, but think about what you can do. One thing, that will not directly benefit you, but will benefit society or your neighbor or something. I promise you, if you do this, it will come back to you multiple fold. This is a fact. And it's just so important. Anyway, like I said, if you're in the mood for to adopt a dog, check my social networks here. 3 beautiful dogs looking for a home for this Christmas season. I will personally pay your adoption fee. I'll meet you over at the animal shelter. We could shake hands. Bam, I'll pay the fee. You get yourself a dog. So go check that out, please. So important, all right? Adopt homeless pets, help each other out, love each other. I will see all of you in the morning. Pay attention to what I went over in this video, people. All right? I love all of you. See you in the morning. Over now.